Y'all, today we need to talk about something that is absolutely tearing apart PvP. In the newest pack, the Wallaroo Wastelander pack, there's a lot of pets that are like based on the Shark Frenzy spell that they put out in Wallaroo. And the gimmick of each of these pets is that they give a shark item card that's based on the school that the shark is. Now, this would be meaningless news, except for the fact that the Fire Shark has an extreme issue with it. Watch what happens when you cast the Fire Shark using this pet in PvP right now. All right, let's see. We have a guy casting a Fire Shark. Nothing to see here. Oh, it's a 3-pip hit. Circling around. Oh, wow. It's hitting. Cool. I guess we're done with the spell, right? Oh, what? It hits again? Well, that's crazy. Is that a bug? Oh, wait. Oh, my God. It's still hitting. Wow. Wow, that's a triple bug. Oh, a quadruple. And now it went from under me. Is it going to come from under me again? Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. That's right. This 3-pip card is so glitched for some reason that it hits 5 times. If I had to guess what's happening, it's re-rolling its values. I've heard this term thrown around a lot. I don't know if y'all noticed, but mid, assault on the person that was getting hit by this, it switched animations to high end. So I literally think there's 5 different ranges of damage this can do. And instead of doing one of the 5, it's doing all of them back to back. A super glitchy spell. You would think that, when encountered with this, people would actually choose to not abuse this, but PvP has become overrun by this. There are people openly exploiting. Damage has gotten to the point where it's like, 200 isn't crazy. So it might seem like, oh, it's just a 3-pip spell hitting 5 times. How bad could it be? But we're looking at, thousands and thousands of extra damage for a 3-pip spell. You cannot fight against this. As a result of this, PvP has become basically unplayable. Now, I think that people who do this specific glitch or, spam queue with this, I think they should at least get their rank reset. Like, keep in mind, it's not just, accidentally using the glitch. You have to go out of your way to find out that this glitch exists. You have to make a pet, as in one with damage and resist, and then you have to run into queue. There are 3 separate actions you have to do that are very stupid when you're abusing this in PvP. I think people have very dishonestly, very stupidly compared this to other glitches like Troll, for example. Like, people are saying, yo, the gambit for the shield and the detonate, it does extra damage. Shouldn't everyone that uses this get banned? People are also using the same argument against Gravestorm. Right now, that top pet, there was a previous time where this was out, where this was similarly glitched, but somehow they've reintroduced this. A top pet gives 100% of that 515 drain back to your opponent. Well, yes, if someone uses Troll or Gravestorm in PvP in a way that it's doing extra stuff, obviously it's not intended. Obviously, they're probably getting ranked that they shouldn't have. But at least in those cases, there might be an argument that, oh, the player might not have realized that it was broken. Maybe some spells like Troll, they actually aren't bugged depending on what you detonate. In the case of Gravestorm, it's not abundantly obvious that it is glitched. Maybe like people thought that there's a new update. Oh, they added a top hat that does 100 drain. Right, it's really hard to figure out intention, and it's also really hard to figure out why someone's packing Gravestorm, why someone's packing Troll. The Fire Shark thing, it's way less vague why someone would make a pet like that and use it repeatedly in PvP. I don't know, to me, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe every exploit is equally bad, but I feel like this one is just obviously like you have to take a lot of actions to really ruin the game for your opponent. So PvP, because of this and the people that choose to use this, is essentially unplayable right now. There's other issues, obviously, that are also somewhat bad. This is very bad. And what's wild is that this isn't the only glitch that made it into this update. Right now, the Crystal Caves, if y'all didn't know, is treated like a raid zone. So if you're questing through that area, you will not be able to progress because it doesn't let you do it like you would a main storyline quest. Luckily, I do think that there's another patch coming really soon. They just released the challenge mode for the new Nightmare Dungeon. I literally just finished it. It took that long. But I assume that after seeing people get this gear, there's a whole section of the community that's super excited to do standard mode. I assume that patch is coming soon. So a lot of this stuff should be out of the game by then. I think to me, there are 3 big takeaways. 1, I think a Fire Shark hitting 5 times is surprisingly hilarious. 2, there seems to be people that see bugs that are very small that people happen to use accidentally or intentionally, and then they seem to make that like an excuse to use extremely broken stuff like this. I don't know what that's about, but I really don't think that spamming PvP with this is gonna result in anything but some sort of sanction. I think it's clearly much worse than other things that maybe have been brushed under the rug or excused. And 3, in my opinion, the devs seriously need to consider a way to add an emergency patch when things like this happen. Right now, there's a whole, like, you know, like black hole in the main storyline. If you're in a certain point, you're basically glitched to the point where you can't continue. And there's a side activity that's not playable because of one bugged card. I feel like when things like that happen, there should be a very, you know, easy justification for being able to patch stuff in the game and honestly avoid all the hullabaloo about, oh, what are we gonna do? Who are we gonna suspend? Who are we gonna sanction? Yada, yada. I can't be the only one who feels this way, but this little conversation around what's an exploit, what's a bug, how many times someone has to do something to get, you know, sanctioned for it, what they have to do with the thing that they, you know, found a glitch for in order for that to count as an exploit. I think these are all stupid ass conversations. And honestly, I feel like the best case scenario is all of this stuff just shows that there need to be a way to emergency patch the game. For me, a lot of this stuff is getting a little exhausting. I'm a player that doesn't want to exploit. I have guaranteed unknowingly used troll several times to do extra damage. Didn't know it was broken. I clearly did do this. There have even been times, I believe once at least, where I've used this on a spell that actually adds extra damage than the card entails, but that's because I needed the detonate, not even the extra damage on the gambit. It's kind of annoying when spells are partially broken or even completely broken, and you need to figure out what you can put into your deck. You have to figure out what's inconsiderate to your opponent. This type of stuff makes me anxious as hell to even use a card, and I feel like that's not the type of vibe you should have when it comes to, you know, adding a spell to your spellbook. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't even mind that the Fire Shark bug or even the Gravestorm bug has found its way into the game. The Gravestorm bug is kind of wild because it's the second time that's happened, but it wouldn't be that bad if it was like, you know, maybe like in a couple of days, like, you know, 2 or 3 days, they patched it right back out. Clearly, they've probably fixed these issues already, but now we have to wait for a patch window. That's very frustrating. I think this is something that, you know, maybe they could add patch windows, not to even add content to the game, but just for, like, you know, upkeep when bugs like this inevitably find their ways into live realm. If all y'all got out of this video is that queuing in PvP right now is dangerous, you know, good, because, like, you know, maybe, you know, you can avoid a crazy amount of frustration. But I urge anyone using Fire Shark right now to, like, I don't know, think about what you're doing. I mean, like, I feel like it's very obviously going to be something that, like, you know, you're going to get your rank reset at least for. I don't think that's really worth it, and I honestly don't really see how you can justify using it. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just as bad as anything. Maybe it's like a screw you to the devs for allowing it. I don't know. Maybe there's an agenda behind it. I think it creates unnecessary chaos. But yeah, y'all, I don't know what I'm going to be doing during the time that PvP is broken. I mean, there's, you know, the Nightmare Dungeon and raids got updated, so I'll be busy, but, you know, it is kind of sad that, you know, I don't feel like queuing up right now because of something this bad. I'd love to hear y'all's thoughts on this, man. What do y'all think the devs should do to prevent this from happening in the future? And if you encounter someone using Fire Shark, is there a way to counter them back? These are the big questions, everybody. Drop a like if you enjoyed. I just wanted to inform people in case y'all didn't know about this. As always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something. I'll see y'all soon, man. Stay awesome. And yeah.